Welcome back. You're still tuned into Mid-Cap Radar. The sector in focus is now real estate. We've seen the real estate stocks make a pullback from the highs. They've come down sharply from their 52-week high levels. And also, there have been a lot of changes. Of course, the election outcome has not been as expected. Real estate was one sector which has seen a massive boom in the last 5 years. So what could the possible impact be? Let's welcome Pankaj Kapoor, founder and managing director of Laisas Foras, along with Niranjan Hiranandani, founder and managing director at Hiranandani Group, joining us now. Gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Hiranandani, let me come across to you first up. And specifically, I would like to understand about what's happening in Maharashtra. We do have that big infrastructure push that we are talking about just in Mumbai, around $70 billion worth of infrastructure projects, which could have been very positive for realty space as well. Do you think with the changes that we are seeing, there could be some impact going forward in the realty space in Mumbai and the other metros as well?
Thank you very much for inviting me. I am very positive and proactive as the future is concerned. We are very fortunate as far as Maharashtra is concerned. Both the political parties, both in terms of the government that is there today, as well as the other parties who are a part of the government process and have stood for elections, all are proactive as far as the infrastructure is concerned in the state. So we are seeing both, I would look at Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, Mr. Sharad Pawar being part of the opposition in that sense of the term in the state, as well as the government certainly is proactive in terms of the infrastructure. And both of them have earlier been as part of the infrastructure growth commitment which was there when they were running the government as it is. So I don't think as far as the infrastructure is concerned in Maharashtra that we are going to have any difficulty in spite of the division which has taken place. The second aspect of it is, I think the central government's commitment for infrastructure on an external infrastructure, the bullet train coming to Mumbai, the Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor, all these aspects of it are going. And the focus on Mumbai, if you look at it separately, just see, in the next 2 years, we are going to add 330 kilometers of metro. We have a coastal road, which is going to be delivered in the next 3 months. And we have the Cross Harbour Bridge, which is creating a huge opening of new development that will take place. So all in all, I don't think that any major change is expected. In spite of India getting the higher numbers, I think the support as far as housing and infrastructure is concerned. I want to make one special mention. I think the next focus, if I can make a prediction, is going to be on the slums of Mumbai. The first project which has been done is Dharavi, but I think there is a huge expectations among the slum population of Mumbai because redevelopment was committed more than 15, 20 years ago by the government that large number of redevelopment of slums will take place. Now only 5% of it has been done. So I think any government that is proposing to be there as far as next state elections of Maharashtra will give a huge commitment as far as slums redevelopment is concerned. And I think that will rule the roost as far as the Mumbai region is concerned, with 50% of the population living in Dvpt slums in Mumbai.
Right, sir. Let me also bring in Mr. Pankaj Kapoor. Thank you so much both, for joining us first. First up, I want your first reaction in terms of now that the new government is coming into place. How do you see flows as far as the entire real estate space is concerned? You work a lot with deals that happen over here. Do you see any slowdown as far as further commitment of money is concerned?
I don't think so, slow down. I completely agree to Niranjan sir, what he mentions about the infrastructure boost will continue to the market. And apart from that, we, during this particular last post-COVID period, we have seen a little bit of retardation in affordable and the priority sector housing. I think that will resurface and the government will probably consider boosting the demand and supply in this particular segment. So overall aspects, I see there would be a further growth. And I think the kind of a mandate with the government has got, I think they'll be looking at promoting affordable housing and the priority sector housing in that particular sense. And as such, we have around 64 million housing requirement in the next 5 to 6 years time, so over a period of time. So there is a shortfall and there is a need which is there. And the way the perspective which is looking is that I think the government will be more proactive in the solving the problem of the Aam Aadmi and the people. So there would be more and more reforms, and there would be more and more incentive for the housing, and especially for the poor and the affordable segment. So in that sense, it will continue to be boosting. And apart from that, infrastructure, I see there's no retardation is likely.
Mr. Kapoor, just a follow up on that, let's split it in 3 buckets that we always do real estate, right? The affordable, the mid housing, and the luxury segment. Between these 3, do you think it is the affordable housing which will grow fastest, and the luxury route that we've been seeing will see some plateauing now?
Yeah, it will. And in fact, why we have seen the luxury growth during the period, because we were seeing a stagnancy of almost 10 years in the luxury segment. From 2015 onwards or 14 onwards, we have seen virtually no new launches and the sluggish growth in the luxury segment and high inventory overhang. But post-COVID, as the demand in this particular segment grew, as well as the new supply started coming in, because the old supply got really consumed up and there was a scope available for the replenishment of the supply. So in recent times, we have seen the more new supply, and this supply will be there for 8 years or 10 years time. So I see there may be in coming quarters a retardation in the new supply in the luxury segment. Demand may also see a little bit of moderations going forward, because a lot of demand really got consumed and then a lot of ready property got sold out. So I think most of the property which is available in the early stage of constructions and the prices also have moving forward. So I see the luxury may see a bit of moderation, but I don't see there would be a decline. The growth may be moderated, the way the way we have seen the new supply has hit in the market in the last 2 years, may see a bit of retardation. But affordable and segment, we are seeing an early sign for the resurgence of the demand. And I think that is where the government's focus will also be.
Understood that. So you're expecting some moderation in demand as far as the luxury segment is concerned. You're expecting a resurgence as far as the affordable space is concerned. Mr. Hiranandani, just going back a little bit, right now when you're looking at the market, especially the Maharashtra market, it's doing very, very well. Not only are we seeing a lot of new launches, we're also seeing a lot of redevelopment projects that are happening. In the context of this activity, and along with that, now interest rates are slightly elevated. Where do you think the focus of this new regime should be? Do you think there are any pain points that they can address? And going forward, how do you see the market pan out, number one, in terms of launches, and number two, in terms of prices?
Well, as far as the government is concerned, a lot can be done. We are looking at the affordable segment in a different sort of way. If you recall, during COVID, the government brought about a 50% reduction in stamp duty and other charges. Today, almost 50% of the cost of the house is in government taxes, development charges, charges for FSI, GST, and all the other duties. Now, if they want to make affordable housing as far as Mumbai city and suburbs is concerned, unless the government does not go back to reducing the stamp duty, reducing all these charges, affordable housing just can't come. So it doesn't exist simply because the government costs are too high. That's number one. Number two, the slum scheme has actually not seen a break going up. The Dharavi scheme is expected to take off very soon. There's another scheme, Ramabai Nagar, which the government is taking up on its own account. It is my belief that the government will have to take up many of such schemes in Mumbai and Maharashtra to meet the expectations of the people who are living in jhopatpattis for the last 20, 30, 40 years. I think it's possible to do so. If you want private sector to bring in more construction in the affordable segment, you will have to reduce the duties and charges and ready reckoner rate and other things that you need to do. Unless you don't do that, you can't create affordable housing, because the money is actually going to the government's coffers. Almost 30%, 40% of the total cost of the house is going to government coffers itself. So I think these aspects of it will have to be seen by the government in order to see that the people's expectation with the prosperity of India, 8% GDP plus, which is taking place, that the people at the grassroots also want to see the benefits of all this percolate to them. So I think this expectation should be met by the government, and they can do it. See, the problem is not when you don't have money and you don't have the resources, or you don't have an idea on how to do it, it's okay. But when you know the route and you have used that route earlier, why not repeat what has worked very well as far as the state is concerned? And of course, about the slums, very important.
Okay. Mr. Hiranandani and Mr. Kapoor, thank you so much for joining us today. Out of time, and the political news that keeps coming in, so we have to address that as well. But we'll touch base with both of you yet again once there is some finality in terms of the final positioning as well. We'll slip into a short break. Nikhil Nigania from Bernstein will join us on the other side to discuss the trends and the impact of results in power sector. Stay tuned.